Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. Guys, today's video I want to answer a question I've been asked a lot. Is Canada corrupt? Is Canada a corrupt country? And is there corruption in Canada? And I'll tell you starting right now that it is corrupt. I have faced corruption in Canada as soon as I came here. Now, it's not as bad as I make it sound right now, and you understand in a moment, but this is how this video was influenced. There was a discussion on a Russian YouTube blog from Vancouver saying that Canada is one of the least corrupt countries, and they were providing the facts and how amazing the country is. And then there was discussion in the comments. Then it went to Facebook, where people said they never encountered any corruption in Canada on day-to-day basis. Well, I have encountered once. It was in 2013, Toronto. That's where my encounter happened, and I was blown away by this. So guys, I was international student in Canada. I'm afraid of everything. I'm on a student visa in this country. I'm worried about everything, right? So I'm like, I don't know how this country runs or anything. So I had to do my driving test. I went and I rented a car. I think from Budget or Condom. I don't remember where I rented it from. I rented a car to do my driving test. I already had my learner's license, I had my Ukrainian license, and well, I needed to get a G2 license that day. So I went ahead, rented a car 4 hours before the exam, and well, I drove the car around to practice, because I didn't drive for a year. I feel like I forgot how to drive, and I had to at least get back a sense of driving a car before I do the exam, and I have no idea what I have to do there on the exam. So I'm worried, and also I'm worried that I rented a car and it's a lot of money. I have no money to go for another attempt to redo the exam, so I really am stressed out. I drove around the car before the test, did some parallel parking just for practice, did some reverse parking, did some three-way turns, whatever I saw on YouTube that they said you would be expected to do on that exam. I practiced it. I went for the exam. I parked behind this government building somewhere. I think it was in Scarborough. I don't even remember that place exactly where it was. Eglinton Road or somewhere there. I think I found it somehow and somewhere, and I had my exam there. So I parked behind the building, and that's where I'm waiting for the examinator to come out. And there was some guy who was a school driver. Okay, so he was a driving school instructor. I was like, I'm going to buddy up with that guy. I'm going to be nice to him, and I'm going to ask him questions because he's waiting for his student doing the test. So I'm like, I'm going to approach him. I approached him and I'm asking him, so what do I have to do on this exam? How do I parallel park? Do I have to do these things, that things? And on the uphill, downhill parking, when an uphill, do I on the right lane? Do I put my wheels to the left? Is it correct? He's like, yeah. And I was like, so what do I have to do? He said, he actually gave me an advice. He said, make sure you touch the curb with the wheels. When you do that, then it's good. I was like, okay, that's really good. He explained to me, and then he said, here's my card. You don't look confident. If you don't pass this exam, you come to me. I know every instructor here, and every examinator in this building, and I guarantee you're going to pass it. You just have to pay me money, and I'll provide you with the car, and you don't have to worry about the exam. You will just go for a drive, for a spin, you come back, you get your license. That's it. And I was like, is he just saying that Canada is corrupt? Is he offering me to give him money so he can give it to his, because he has trust of the examinators here because they take bribes in Canada? I thought he's making fun of me. I thought he's not honest. I was like, he's just, he could hear, at that time my accent was so tough, you can tell where I'm from. And so, really, even right now you can tell, but at that time I was like northeast, southwest, and I was, it was really bad. So anyways, my examinator comes out, and he, just to prove that he knows, he's like, hey Anthony, and I think his name is Anthony, that examinator waved to him, they chatted, a little bit, and then I started doing my test. I went for a drive, I almost failed it, because I'm used to drive a clutch and I pressed the clutch, and the car didn't have a clutch. It has just a huge brake pedal, so I smashed the brakes, and my examiner almost flied out of the window. He almost dropped his evaluation sheet, and he said, well, you do it one more time and you fail. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I'm just used to driving the clutch. He's like, okay, no talking, just drive. I was like, this guy is so freaking mean, okay. So I just pretended like I don't have a left leg. I just imagined myself that, okay, no, make sure I don't press the clutch. Make sure I don't press the clutch. And I passed the test. I was really stressed out. I was happy. I parked the car, reverse parking. The guy said, you passed it. You almost failed it, but you passed it. And then he went to do the paperwork and everything. He said, I'm going to get my license in 2 weeks, mailed to me. So he went to the building, and I left, and I was going back to my vehicle so that I can drive away. I'm happy. And that guy approaches me, who was asking me to give him a bribe, and he's like, did you pass? I was like, yeah, I passed it, it's all good, it's good. So the guy started chasing me and demanding 30%. That's his commission, 30% of the money that he gets. Everything else goes to examiner. So he wanted me to give him 30%, assuming that I gave a bribe to the examiner in Toronto. And I was doing the test in 2013. That's so crazy, guys. And I was blown away. I was shocked. So I went back to college the next day, I believe, and I started talking to my friends. There was a guy who also just recently got his driver's license, and he was actually a guy, I think Vishnu is his name, it doesn't matter what his name is, but he just passed his driving test, okay? I don't remember exactly his name, but he just passed his driving test, and I came to him, I was like, man, is this real? Like, the guy was asking me for a bribe. I said, the guy wanted a bribe for me so that for a driving school, do they do that? And he said, well, basically, this is what happened. He said that he knows people who pay $250 Canadian dollars to do one, course to drive around in a school, and after that, when you go to do your driving exam, they know the examinators. You basically leave the parking lot, you go around the block, they deduct some points for you to make it legit, as if you took the test, and you always pass. So he said you can buy your driver's license in Toronto, and he said that he knew people who went and bought it. Okay, so there is corruption in Canada, and this is my encounter, the only time when I encountered it. Now, guys, the reality is this. If you look at it, is this: they don't take, they would not probably take a bribe from you directly because there is no trust. You might be working from the government, but they would take it from those driving schools that they build a relationship with and trust between each other. But there is a corruption in Canada. Now, then I had a talk to a guy I studied with in Ukraine. I think it was like on a phone. He was asking me about Canada. I don't even remember all the details of the conversation, but he said he's working for a company that is basically in Ukraine, but what they do is they provide money solutions, which basically it's money laundering. And he said that there are many countries on the list, including some European countries, Panama, and Canada. Canada is there too. So in terms of money laundering, it also happens in Canada. That's what he told me. I was blown away with all of this. I was like, this is not real. It shouldn't be like that. Now, honestly, guys, I have never encountered anything like that since then. Maybe it's just a Toronto thing. Maybe it's just Toronto. Maybe it's Scarborough. I don't know, guys. But in Calgary, what I do know is that the examinators, they are commission-based. So here it works a little bit different. They just fail you. They want you to do the exam multiple times with them, so that for each attempt they get paid per attempt. They are not hourly employees, they're like subcontractors for registries. So that's what I heard in Calgary. This is another way. In Ontario, from what I know, it's government regulated, and that's why examinators are corrupt. In Alberta, instead of taking bribes, they just fail you, even if you're good, so that you can retake the exam again. How do you overcome this in Alberta? My recommendation is go to the Google listing of different registries, read the comments, and you would know the names of those examinators who fail people and who are famous for it, who are doing it on purpose to make more money. And this is how you choose a registry, by reading those reviews. And there are some big names out there that I'm not going to be saying the names of those registers that do that, because it's going to be like slandering or defaming or something like that. You can do it on your own, but this is my story, guys. So from what I've experienced, I believe that in Canada, corruption, it either happens on the very bottom level. Now, the good part about it is that you don't actually need, it's unlike in some countries where you cannot do anything without it. In Canada, you can actually, do your driving test and pass it without it. In some countries, the government officials, they're not going to let you do that. You're not going to pass without it, So that's kind of a good thing about Canada. It's somewhere there, but it's barely seen, and you might have never even encountered it in your life unless you spoke with someone in the back of the building like I did that day. And right behind the government building, the guy was standing. Can you imagine that? And maybe it happens on the higher ups, that also we cannot see that because there are some scandals and stuff like that, but it's hard to prove. So guys, here's my input. Is Canada a corrupt country? In general, I would say no. But really, in 8 years, I think 8 years I've been in Canada. No, almost 8 years, 7 years. That's when I encountered it, when I was a school student doing my driving test, and a guy was basically wanting a bribe. That's crazy. Alright guys, well, I want to find out your comments. Have you ever encountered something like this in Canada? Leave a comment down below. I want to read what you think. And share your story, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a big fat thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.